Welcome one, welcome all. It's episode 9 of Fab Life with Lauren and Lee, episode 9 of the second series. We do have a full back catalogue of episodes that you will want to binge if you haven't already.
Sink your
Um,
teeth in. Sink your
and
teeth and
it's
treat yourself this long weekend.
absolutely, it's holiday season, I feel, for a lot of people at the minute as well. So it's just perfect on a
Yeah.
sun lounger, you know? Our
Yeah, and get
little
them downloaded. Yeah, for the plane journey. Get them
yes, okay.
downloaded
Get
there.
them onto the device. Lauren, how
Yeah.
art thou? How art thou indeed?
Oh, I'm well. I'm well late. I'm ever so busy, so I was late for this. So apologies.
It's not
Just packing up
acceptable,
Easter
Lauren.
orders.
It's
I
like you're
know.
not
I'm gonna
taking this
get. I'm gonna
seriously
get
anymore.
sacked. I'm gonna take this to the board.
The board of directors. Oh my God, we should have an AGM.
Oh my god, I'd love that. Who would it be though? Because we'd just overrule them all the time, surely.
I know. Damn it. It'd be like, right, I vote. Who would be if you had to choose someone to be our leader? It's not interesting and we don't need to think about it. Um, how
Just
are
invent a
you,
fake
Lauren?
person. Oh, I'm well. I'm a bit tired. I'm starving. I've not even eaten today yet. Can you believe it? And it's like half one, which is not like me because I love a snack. Um, yeah, just a busy bee. Packing up Easter orders. Then I'm going for my herdant look at these routes. I would suggest everyone listening does not watch the YouTube because no one wants to see that. It's disgusting.
I don't think it looks too bad, but
Uh, I tried to put
maybe.
the pink on to mask it, but I'm going for it done today. I'm going for it sorted. Our Connor, he's a fab lifer, my hairdresser. So always good to see him. I'm taking him some treats as well, some Dolly Sticks Easter treats, just as a little, little
Oh
treat there.
God, you
Little.
are good for your hairdresser, aren't you? Do you? Is that instead
Yeah,
of a
we have a
tip?
lovely
I don't.
time.
I don't actually give my hairdresser a tip. And then the other month, I was like, "Do a lot of people tip you?" I was like, I don't think I've ever done that for hairdressers. It's a weird thing because a lot of people do, but I've never really felt like you would tip a
Yeah.
hairdresser unless you're like. But I mean, he always does it amazingly, in my opinion. So
Yeah. Christmas time. Christmas
actually,
time's
a
the
tip
one,
at
isn't it? I
Christmas, a
like,
tip at Christmas, yeah.
yeah. My mum always tips because like she was a hairdresser, so she knows like. But that was a different time. Like back when she was a hairdresser, she
Different
got paid
time back then,
nothing.
Sandra. Sandra, it
Do
was
you
a
know what I
different
mean?
time.
She relies on
I
them tips.
always,
If I have a bit of cash, I do it. Like, because cash is king, isn't it? With, like, I don't know. Stuff like that. I don't know. My
do
hair
you
costs a
ever do
lot
that
of dollar,
little,
though.
well, so does mine actually. And I know for a
Does
man,
it?
mine's quite ludicrous. And it's actually so ludicrous that I don't even want to admit on here how much it costs. But basically, I go to a hairdresser that, friend of the pod actually, Joe, if you're listening, um, recommended. And it was
Oh
when I
my
first
god, is it
moved to
Joe's
London.
hairdresser?
It's Joe's hairdresser, yeah, and it's hilarious because I can definitely tell now that my hairdresser prefers me to Joe, and Joe's like secretly furious about it because
Absolutely fuming.
I've just swooped on in and I'm like, "Hi, Ryan," but yes, and he's great, and it's kind of like. I don't want to go to anyone else, although I did have to cheat on him the other month, you remember, because he got COVID and I was so desperate. Um,
Yeah, and you've been up north. I mean, you've really committed considering you don't even live in the same town. So that's commitment.
Yeah, although I generally, come back to London. I get my hair cut about every 6 weeks. So some guys, this is how I justify it because some guys will pay cheaper, but I have it done like every 3 weeks. I'm every 6 weeks, so I pay a little bit more, but
Yeah,
I do
sure,
go a
sure.
bit less. But
I
anyway,
saw a
enough about my
factoid.
hair.
Well, I saw a factoid about men's hair the other day, and apparently, well, this is probably the same for everyone's, but men should get the haircut more in the summer anyway because it grows faster in the sun. There you go. I can't remember
I
where
do
that
feel like
was.
it does.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
in the
mine
winter you don't
goes
have to get it
blonde
cut
in
as
the sun
much.
as well.
Yeah, a little blonde hair. You have got it styled quite, for the watchers this week. Very quite boyish, quite hipster. I feel like you need a little like earring or something and a vest and some cargo pants. Go that
Yes.
edge into the 90s style that everyone,
And
all
like
the youngsters
weird
are
kind of
doing.
frames, weird like.
Yeah, with like a pink tint on them or something on the actual. Yeah, that's
Well,
what you need.
unfortunately, I've got none of those. Just the hair. But
Just
Lauren,
my
I came
hair.
across this. article earlier that I found. I'm quite into like finding bizarre
You're into
news
that at the minute,
articles.
yeah. I'm here
I
for it.
am. I am. Well, we're running out of things to say. Let's face it.
Let's be
So,
honest. And I did no prep, so I'm like riding on this wave. So you go for it.
well, so this guy, I assume it's a guy, but basically bought a Ferrari 488. No idea, but it looks very expensive. Well, it is very
Who
expensive because
knows?
apparently it's £250,000. This Ferrari. Okay, so he picks it up in Derby, right? And that's actually
Of all the
apparently,
places you pick it up, Derby, you'd think
yeah,
you'd have to travel to London for a Ferrari. No offence to Derby and our lovely listeners there, but
yeah,
yeah.
and also this was on April the 1st, but I've checked and the news article was after 12, so it's true. Well,
Okay, so
basically,
it's
what
got to be true.
happened is he picks up the Ferrari, right? Drives less than 2 miles from the dealership, crashes it. Absolute write off, full on crashes his £250,000 Ferrari. Now,
What?
feel for him, but also kind of funny. Kind of quite funny, isn't it?
Hilarious. I feel like, was he nervous? Why did he crash that badly? Like, was he on
To be
edge? Was
honest,
he
I
drunk? Was
don't
he hungover?
think. I don't think he was drunk, because maybe it would say. No, it just says he crashed it. It doesn't actually say. There's no injuries, so it's a safe car. But apparently he
You'd hope
collided.
so for that.
It doesn't even say what he did. It's just £250,000, and you won't be able to see this, but it's like the bonnet's completely smashing. You would be furious, and like you can't do anything about it. You can't go back to the dealership and say, "Oh, you've crashed it. You're done."
Yeah.
You've
And like,
absolutely just.
yeah, I don't know how it works with like car insurance, but would you be insured at that point? Like, does it just transfer
Well,
from
you
your last
should
car?
be
I'm not sure.
insured. You should. He should have got it insured before he started driving the car. I think you'll find a bit of legal fact for you there. But I mean,
Leave the liar.
Jesus, that's going to cost a lot on your insurance.
Oh man, that is. I hope he had a good insurance and it wasn't like some shit off the telly. Oh
Sheila's
god.
wheels. Do you remember Sheila's wheels?
Oh my god, I used to love Sheila's Wheels. Like, what a great advert. Them Australians, they know how to write a jingle, mate. Let me tell you. Oh my
And
god, that
wasn't
was
it
so good.
specifically for
For women,
yeah.
female
Oh, I
drivers.
loved it.
And they were all like, boop, 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 be doop. They have like
For
little like
ladies who
lids and
insure
stuff.
their cars, Sheila's wheels are superstars. Girls
Oh
above
my god, so you
beyond
remember.
endurance, paying too much for car insurance. For bonds of car insurance deals. Girls get into Sheila's wheels. Oh, really good. Women make the
You
same
really did a
drivers. We
tilt
can
back
save a
there.
bunch of fathers for bonds of car insurance deals. Girls get on the Sheila's wheels. Oh,
Oh
now.
god, thank god you did that vocal warm up before you came on today.
Really, really hope everyone enjoyed that little. I hope someone was listening to that on their headphones and it blasted through, and everyone's like, "What the hell is that guy listening to?" Or girl, mainly,
What the
mainly women,
fuck?
I suppose. Yes, I do remember
Hey, you don't
Sheila's
know.
wheels. Even though I asked you that question, um,
You planted it. That was a plant because you've just been like in a YouTube hole and in Reels or something looking at old
no, do
adverts.
you know what? I have a confession there. Even though I am good for lyrics, I just quickly Googled Sheila's Wheels lyrics and read the lyrics off screen. I didn't know fully off by heart.
You are so quick, and that Apple keyboard is quiet, isn't it? Eh?
Quiet, thank you.
Like
Very quiet. I've got very, very timid, discreet fingers.
Put that on your grinder.
So it made me. It begged the question: the Ferrari man, poor guy, may he be doing okay? So it's actually been. He'll still be thinking about that because if that happened on April the 1st,
That is
with 12
fresh.
days
That
on
is
from
fresh.
he's still furious. Yeah, he probably. I don't.
He
He's
never
probably
got to show
driving
off.
like a smart car now. He probably like. Imagine if he just saved up for it and everything. Although, if you're driving a Ferrari, you're probably doing all right to get it sorted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder what a courtesy car is on a Ferrari. Do you know what I mean? What's the next level down? Because you always get what you don't want, don't you, when you get a courtesy car? So I wonder what he's driving. Like, I don't even know the one below. He's probably just driving like a Mercedes, actually, which is very nice, but he's fuming about it, you know.
Yeah. He
From
probably
like,
went
this
from
is
his Mercedes to
disgusting.
Ferrari. And yeah, it's really
Yeah.
affected his midlife crisis. Um, but it made me think about extravagance, and that's what we're
Extrav, yeah.
gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about extravagance. Now,
Yeah.
I don't think it takes a genius to work out that I love extravagance. I mean,
He's an
I
extrav
absolutely love.
guy. Yeah.
I put the
Yeah.
extra in extravagance. Okay.
Excellent. I can be
Thank
quite
you.
extrav, but not like, not anymore. Maybe not as much. But you know what? When you buy vintage clothes, I think we've said this before, you don't spend a lot on your clothes. And like, you quite like a branded shirt or, you know, designer vibe. I would like a Burberry jacket. I would like a Burberry coat, though, Burberry Mac.
Well, yeah, and you
But
can
who
get some.
doesn't?
Yeah, I think there's an outlet of Burberry coats quite near you. I'm sure there's a Burberry outlet.
Yeah, there's one in Hackney. Well, there's like a Burberry
Yeah, that's
shop.
it.
I wonder if they do outlet stuff. I don't know, because they have like a big night there and a big Pringle and something else. People are probably
The only thing
screaming at the
with
thing,
like
being
a
like, it's in
Burberry
Hackney, go.
trench, the only thing with a Burberry trench is I would worried like I'd be. I mean, this never actually happens. Although I did lose a small jacket once, but I'd worry like it just get nicked on a night out or something, or I'd like lose it. I'd be so
Yeah,
worried. And it's like you
no.
with items like that. I'd just be worried to go out in them unless I had enough money to not care. Like the Ferrari guy.
Yeah, like, do you have a Louis Vuitton bag or anything like that? Like luggage?
A Louis Vuitton.
Excuse me.
I don't
No,
have
like,
Louis
that's just like
Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
It's
Uh,
Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton, not Louis Vuitton. I mean, come on, Lauren. Don't besmirch the good name of Louis with Louis Vuitton. It's Louis Vuitton. Oh,
um,
so common.
people often those try and say, people often say Louboutin though, like, you know, like Louboutin shoes.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
no, it's different. It's a different person. It's Louis Vuitton. No, but like
It's
people have
not
those
double
bags,
barrel.
like the huge Vuitton. My mum was called V, and my dad was called Ton. There you go. But a lot of people have the luggage, and I would be worried people would be nicking my luggage when you get those big, beautiful, like vintage cases. You know, they look amazing. And I thought, do you have any like posh luggage? Because that's the same. Like leaving that about, people might nick it.
No, and so I've got actually at the minute I've got a little cabin bag which I bought back in 2014 or 2013 actually when we were doing promo, and I remember it very well. I went into Debenhams. I bought I think it was something like a £40 small carry case because we were traveling a lot, and often I'll take that to London because it's easier to take a little case and then just a
Yeah.
rucksack or whatever. Anyway, about 2 months ago, the little handle on it snapped. So the carry handle, and I'm walking around with a snapped suitcase handle, and I'm just like, I need a new suitcase. Now I was
You
gonna
need
buy
to
a
treat
new one.
yourself.
I do. But it's still there, and I'm towards the end of it. But when I get a little bit more disposable income, which hopefully will be
Yeah.
soon, I will
Had them
treat
fingers crossed for a
myself.
while now.
I want one of those metal ones. I want one of those metal cases, but I'm not bothered
They're like
about
really
brand.
quite square ones. Like they're really quite like
Like a
structured.
Samsonite type one, but it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
They're very on trend. I think I've seen them on people's Instagrams going on holiday. They're
Oh
little
my God!
bastards.
News
Yeah.
just in. We've got breaking news. We've
What?
got breaking news. Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak are going to be fined over the Downing Street parties. I hate it though, because it's like this breaking news comes in as we record, and it'll be 2 days old by the time this podcast comes out. But can you believe it? They've been
Oh
fined.
my
He
God.
must resign.
But didn't they say if he gets fined, then he'll have to resign?
Oh
my
my
God.
And Rishi. Rishi's
And
not had a
Rishi.
good week either, has he? With his bloody
He's
wife.
not, bloody hell. Talking about her
told-
taxes.
talking about extravagance for him, because it can come in big things. Because sometimes I think extravagance as well is just like, and I'm very much one of these like pointless things that you just don't need. So what he's got is he's got one of those smart like cups, I think, where it keeps your drink warm, and it's something like £80 or something, and he's got one of them things where you can control it on an app, and it keeps your tea or your coffee
What?
warm throughout the day. I know, so ludicrous, but
How are you
I
not
love a
drinking your
gadget.
tea within 20 minutes? I thought there's a new Keep cup, but it's not a Keep cup, by the way. And it's probably about £30, and you probably know what it is. I don't know the brand, so like DM if you know it. And it's like a, you know those like wine, like the shape of a wine glass, almost like curved at the bottom. But if you falls over in your bag and there's a bit of tea in it or whatever, it doesn't spill, and it also keeps it warm. So it's like Chili's bottle technology. That's as dear as I'm going for a Keep cup, like a thingy. But
Well,
he's got
I've got the
one that actually has an app. Great.
Yeah, it's a smart cup. It's a smart cup. Um, but what's been your biggest extravagance then, Lauren? What have you shelled out on?
Let me have a look. I bought
She's
this
looking
fridge
round this
recently.
fridge behind me.
This
I wouldn't
bloody
say a
fridge. It's a
fridge.
business
I
expense.
wouldn't,
No, it's
yeah,
not.
I wouldn't say a fridge for your work is an extravagance, unless the fridge,
No.
like, I don't know, has a bed in it or something.
Yeah, it's a smart
Do you know what
fridge.
I
It's
mean?
not a smart fridge.
I'd
Yeah.
love a smart fridge. I would love.
Oh.
Do you remember the film About a Boy?
Yeah. Is that it?
His apartment, Hugh Grant's apartment in that, like, it was so modern and just. I think I'd love to live in like a technological modern place, like where it's a gadget,
Modern
and
house.
because I've got my lights that I can turn on and off. I can even say, "Hey Google, turn my fan on," and like I can. By the way, I hope that's not set anyone's fans off if you're listening to this on a loudspeaker. But like, I would love gadgets. Like I
You
want to
love a
do things like,
gadget.
yeah, I want to wake up in the morning and like go down to my kitchen, press a button, and like my blinds
Or the
slowly
kettle comes
rise.
on. Yeah, the
The
kettle
kettle
knows when to
comes
turn
on.
itself on or whatever.
Yeah, my
Yeah, that's
blinds
not. What about
rise up and
underfloor
it goes
heating?
underfloor heating, yeah, and it goes, "Good morning, Mr. Peart. The time is 8:02 and the weather today will be such and such." And as I'm doing that, I'm like grabbing my coffee and then like, I don't know, Lorenzo comes in and he's like, "Good morning, Lee. I've cleaned the pool." And I'm like, "Thank you, Lorenzo." Oh, and he's like, "Heavy night." And I'm like, "Yes, Lorenzo, such a heavy night. Thank you." And then I'm like, "Where's the Barocca?" And then I press a button and a Barocca just sprays in my mouth. Sorry, I got ahead of myself there. Um,
Also, you didn't like the name Lorenzo. I was like, is it me? And you're making me be called Lorenzo now, put an accent on.
no, but it did remind me of Ruth Lorenzo from the X Factor, who, by the way, was robbed. I'm still not over it. She was absolutely brilliant, Ruth Lorenzo. No, I was just trying to think of someone, and I'd like a housekeeper, like, I don't know,
You just want to be Iron Man, really, don't you?
Ariana.
That's
I want to be. That's
yeah.
it. I want to be Iron Man. I was trying to think of who it is. It's Iron Man. That's it. I want to
It
be
is.
him,
That's who you want to be because his house is
but
amazing. I would
without
like
like the
underfloor heating.
saving
That's my one
people's
thing.
lives and stuff like that. I don't want to do all that.
Nah.
That's too much effort. Just
Yeah.
just the extravagance.
Just the billions of dollars. I bought myself an iPhone once, like outright. That was pretty extravagant for me. Like I just was like, I want the new iPhone. This was way back. This is when like I had a full-time job and I was single, so I just used to spend my money on new phones, shoes, and gin. That was it.
Oh,
That's all I spent my money
nice.
on. What a good time. What a good time to be alive. Yeah, and I bought myself an iPhone. That was pretty good. I used to buy a lot of shoes actually as a student. I used to save up my student loan and just like splurge a few £100 on shoes when I didn't have money to do that.
Mm.
Um, what
I'm
else?
just
I
thinking
thought
of
of
some of
something
the
else then.
shit that I wasted my money on when I had money. I I
Yeah, go
used to
on. Because when you
actually,
do have money, you do just splurge, don't you? You just like, I know if
yeah.
I had loads of money, I would just be buying a Burberry Mac in every colour, you know?
Well, I used to do this thing where, I mean, looking back, it's ludicrous, but I really liked, nice, crisp, clean sheets. So I would, I'd wash my bedding, but I could never be bothered to iron it. And it was a double bed, so it's massive. And it's like, ugh. So when I lived in London, I had this service who would come. They'd come
Oh
round in the
no.
morning. I'd book them to come round in the morning every like 2 weeks, maybe a week or so, a week and a half. Come round in the morning, knock on the door with a big laundry bag. I'd strip the bed, put my sheets in the laundry bag. Then they'd take it, and then that evening they'd pop back over and return my crisply washed and
Would they?
ironed sheets.
But you make the bed, right? They don't make the bed.
Yes, I made the bed, so it wasn't too bad. So it's basically a
I was
laundry
gonna say,
service,
did they make your bed?
but they'd come to my house for me and pick it up. So they wouldn't, so I wouldn't go to the dry
Was it through
cleaners.
an app, or was it like just? Was it specifically for sheets, or was it for you could get your
No, it was
shirt
you
done
could
if
do
you
it.
wanted?
Yeah, so sometimes I'd throw in some shirts, or often I'd throw in like jumpers. So if it was like woolen stuff, and I only had a couple, so it's basically
Yeah.
it's a website called IHateIroning.com. So they wash and they iron for you. And so you could do loads of stuff, but I mainly did the bedding because I was like, I'm not going to do my whole load because that's
Yeah.
just ludicrous. But I think it was something like £15 a try or a £15 a go, which I was just like, you know what, whatever. But looking back, I'm like, it was such a waste of money. Like it just,
Yeah.
but I loved it
Who
at the
likes
time.
changing
But
sheets though? It's the
do you know
worst
what?
job.
Actually, well, it begs the question: was it a waste of money? Because it made me happy
No.
at the time. I could afford it. I was loving life, and I'm welling up just remembering the good times that I used to have in those lovely, crisp ironed sheets. Now I have to iron them myself.
Well, I was gonna say you're at home. I'd so be getting my mum to iron. My mum is such a good ironer. And like she doesn't like ironing, but she irons everything. So oh god, it's great when I go home because I don't iron anything. So it's great because I'm like, oh my god, my knickers have been ironed on the front. It's excellent.
Knickers. No, I do my own washing and stuff at home. I don't really I haven't got her to do my full one yet. But I've actually just put my bedding in. Maybe that's what reminded me. I also used to have fresh flowers delivered from a flower company.
I
And
would so get that if I had the. We have a
so
neighbour who has a
nice.
really big house, and we sometimes get his Freddie's flowers, and we have to be like,
Yes,
no,
it's
it's
good.
over there, and I
Yeah,
should
yeah,
just
yeah.
nick him. I don't think he'd notice.
Does it not get confusing when they drop it off and if Freddie answers the door and they go, Freddie's flowers? And he's like, can I just check, is it Freddie's flowers or Freddie's flowers?
They're like, excuse me.
Is it flowers for Freddie or is it Freddie's flowers? The guy would be like, you're a freak.
What's the difference? Yeah, we took them in once, and I like started unwrapping it, and then I realised because there's no name on it because it's just like subscription, isn't it? So like they're just like literally fresh in a box, and I really started
Yeah.
unwrapping them, and I was like, someone sent us, and Freddie was like, wasn't any one of like my friends. I don't know what it is. So I was like, oh, it's not ours, and I just had to like, I hadn't undone the ribbon yet, thank God, so it wasn't too obvious.
I used to. I think I had. I think mine were called London Blooms, and so like it was when I lived over in Woodford in Essex, and sometimes when they were due to be delivered, like I'd have end up staying out, and so I'd come back really drunk late at night, and they'd have left it on the front porch, and I'd
Oh
like
God.
return home drunk, and I'd be like. C'est moi. Someone sent me flowers. Like, oh, how lovely.
Would you act
Just
out a scene
ludicrous.
in your head?
I'd be like, "Oh, who sent these? And then, like, I obviously was drunk and didn't want to unwrap them, so it'd be like, oh, just leave it. But yeah, so that was another extravagance I had. My coffee machine, I'd say, was an extravagant
You
expenditure.
really splurged, yeah. I was at a friend's at the weekend, and they have a big coffee, like a fancy coffee machine like yours. And they were like, the amount of money we were spending on coffee, though, so it actually isn't. You know,
True.
you
And
can really
what I will
think about it.
say is, I bought mine for about £600, okay, two
Wow.
months before lockdown. And now, that's very same model, they're selling for about £1,000. They've gone massively up in price.
Why?
Ludicrous, isn't it? Well, I think it was just demand for them. I think when people were in lockdown, people were like, right, let's buy things for the home. And I think people obviously wanted a nice, decent coffee machine and splurged. So,
Oh my
supply
gosh,
and
yeah.
demand.
People got into it. We did the same with booze, which you did as well. Like bought all these like weird rums and shit that are very specific for one cocktail. You
Mm.
know, like thing. Yeah, we bought a new couch. Well, we didn't buy that actually. That was a present.
The thing is, I wouldn't say a couch is an extravagance. Like, I think we're
Because you need a
talking maybe
couch.
maybe more pointless things. What have you bought that's a bit pointless and you've thought, why did I buy that? Have you ever done that? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, loads of times. I'm trying to think now. Like I've bought like items of clothing just because I had a bit of money and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this. I
Yeah.
probably don't have them anymore. But my hair's a massive extravagance. Like to
Is it? Is
have,
that
I
your
mean,
biggest extravagance?
my like most regular one, yeah, because I spend a lot of money on my hair, and that's why it's long now. You know, it's soft. I don't have to have it bleached. I could just not dye my hair and not
Well,
style it.
like
And
Joe said to me, Joe, friend of the pod, said once, Lee, you'd spend your money on a shirt, and you don't even wear that shirt every day. You wear your hair every day, and that's going to be hard
ah,
for you to say. You wear your hair every day.
you wear that hair every day. Yeah, he's such a hun, Joe, isn't he? He's such a secret.
He's
He's
an
not even a secret
influencer.
hun. He's an out and out hun. God love the man. Yeah, my hair's a massive thing. Yeah, I used to get my nails done before like the baking stuff really took off, and I'd spend like literally hundreds of pounds every month on my hair and nails. But
Right.
I wore those, so I'm gutted. I just have run of the mill nails now, actually. But it's part and parcel of
Run
the
of the
gig,
mill
babes. You know,
nails.
just a regular, just a regular Joe nails. It's not cool. Yeah, so I'd say my
I
hair
s-
massively.
yeah, I suppose as well being married, like you obviously spend more on your appearance. Appearance? Oh God, I'm going so like Grimbarian. You spend more on your
Jermaine
appearance.
Genus is back.
Probably when you're single, because you care a little bit more. You get a bit complacent, don't you, when you're married, I assume, or even when you're in a
Oh,
relationship. I don't know either.
has Freddie told you to say this?
Yeah, basically up your game. He misses your nails, and a few flowers for Freddie every month might not go amiss. Actually, yeah, this
I've had the
episode is
text come through.
sponsored by Freddie, your husband.
Yeah, you probably do spend more on your appearance before. Oh God. The other thing is, well, I buy really good makeup, so I spend a lot of dollar on my
I do feel
makeup.
bad
So
for women in makeup. I mean, God love them. Like they have to spend so much more than men, don't they? Like,
yeah, and you think back to like the makeup you used to use when you were a teen or like even early 20s, and you're like, well, this does the same job, and it goes on the same, and then you look at yourself later in the day, and you're like, it's all come off, and like it's the same as your hair. Like invest in it. I'm looking at my bloody makeup bag now. Laura Mercier powder. That's not like that. I put that on every day. Oh, there's all sorts. Charlotte Tills, bloody Fenty.
oh well,
They're
sure.
all in there.
Talking of Charlotte Tilbury, I bought a while back a because I don't wear makeup, but I have a
You did go through your bare minerals phase though, didn't you?
I
Lest we
did get through
forget.
bare minerals phase, lest we forget. I mean, Jesus. I look at some photos and I look like a random like Victorian twink with like just white face because I just caked it on. But I don't wear makeup, but I do have a Charlotte Tilbury. I think it's called Healthy Glow. And I
Oh,
don't use it a lot, but basically I used it the other month. And it was like a tinted moisturizer, basically. So you put it
yeah.
on. Anyway, I forgot I'd had it on. Like I just kind of put it on thinking it was moisturizer. And then I looked in the mirror a couple of hours later and I was like, I look fantastic. I
Yeah.
was like,
It's
what the
all about the glow.
hell?
It's all about the
I
glow.
truly do have a healthy glow. And
Oh,
I kind of understand why people can get addicted. It reminds me of when Joel Dommett said he came on to Loose Women once and he was talking about like being on TV and them giving him makeup and he was like, yeah, and then you're like, oh, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit more, and then he goes, and then after a while you're Rylan. And he was basically because Rylan like cakes the makeup on. But
yeah.
I can understand because you look and you're like, oh my God, it really does
Yeah.
help. But
And you
why
go through
have
like
we
phases with your
conditioned
makeup.
women to think, that they should just always be in makeup when for men it's
Yeah, I
not a
don't
thing?
know.
So odd.
It's it is odd. And when I was with my baby niece at the weekend, like I was getting my makeup bag out, which is like like a little mini handbag, and it was the brushes. She just wanted the brushes, And like, I think people mistake that for like she wants to have makeup on when she's older, but to me it's not. Like if she saw a man putting on makeup, like getting brushes out and doing all that, she'd want the brushes as well. She just wants the brushes. And she was putting it on like the back of her head. She wasn't like, she didn't think it was, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I don't want to set the example that she has to wear makeup all the time, but it's also like, I think if more people did wear it, I don't know, if it was just seen as a more accepting, like anyone can wear it, then it'd be a bit different.
I'm just trying to think of it, but isn't the concept of lipstick just so ludicrous?
Yeah.
But it's
That's
hard,
the like
isn't it?
setter for me. Yeah, it's so weird. I used to like underline my lips as well because like I've got quite big lips, and it wasn't as cool like as it like now. Everyone's got fucking lip filler, aren't they? I mean, you do you, boo. You can do what you want. But I used to like underline my lip because I didn't want to like draw attention, so I never used to wear lipstick. And now every day. You've got a big juicy lip as well, Lee. You'd be lipstick all over
Well,
your
I
face.
told you about when I was on a date with actually a millionaire. I went on a date with a millionaire years ago.
Who wants to date a millionaire? Lead
I
us.
do. No, I couldn't, and I really wanted it to work because it would have been great.
I
would
dated
probably
one.
Did you?
I dated one, yeah. He was bad in bed as well. I think I've said that before on the pod. And he just thought, because he had loads of money and he was young, that, like, it made him untouchable. And I was just like, God, you're a bit selfish. See a bit. And he was small. No offence to small people.
Well, I've got a little scar on my lip, which you might be
Yeah,
able to see on the YouTube,
can see.
but a little scar on my lip, and we're sat at dinner, having a lovely little dinner, and he goes, "So when did you get your lips done?" And I went, "I've never had my lips done." And he went, "Well, you have." I went, "Well, I haven't." And he was like, "Well, you obviously have." He said, "Your big lip is bigger than your..." He said, "Your top lip is
Your
bigger
top
than
lip.
your bottom, which very rarely happens, and you've got really nice big lips, and there's a small scar there." And I was like, okay, I wouldn't lie. Like, I mean,
And you
maybe
don't get a
some people
full
would lie.
scar. You don't get like a full scar through.
Yeah, like I didn't do a botch job. So I said, "Oh,
Yeah.
that was a mole." And he was like, "Oh yeah, likely story." And then I was like, he was so convinced I was lying. Like he almost convinced me. I was like, "Have I had them done?" But
You were
like,
like, oh my God, was it a dream?
yeah. But I've never really. I suppose I do have quite big lips. Oh, maybe that's a good extravagance question. What would you have if you had plastic surgery?
What would I have done? Oh my God. I don't
So
know.
difficult
I used to
to.
hate my nose, but now I've grown to love it. And I'm about the thing where it's like, if you want to have something done to your body, just have it done, but just tell everyone. Like, I can't stand the people like the Kardashians, for example, who are like, I've had everything done, and then they're like, no, I've just been working out. And it's like, no, you're setting the worst example. Like, if it's not real, just tell people it's not real, and then you don't set these weird examples for people, you know? I'd always think though, you know what? If I had big ears, I would definitely get them pinned back. I don't know why.
Yeah, and that's kind of like not really. Is that cosmetic surgery? I suppose it is classed as it, but it's not proper like surgery, is it? See, I always said I
No, I
wanted to
guess
get my
so.
teeth done, but I don't think I really need to. And I know that sounds
I
like a
don't
big
think you
headache.
need to.
No, and
No,
I quite like the
I'd
one
get
that
mine
twisted.
whitened properly. Yeah, I was a
Um,
straight.
what I was going to say? What was the one that I was going to do? Oh, I've never really noticed, but someone took a photo of me the other day, and I was smiling, and I was like, "Oh, I quite like that photo." And then my friend looked at it, and she was like, "Oh yeah," she was like, "And I love the lines. It makes you look so distinguished." And I hadn't noticed the lines, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the eye lines." And like now, it's all I see. Laughter
Oh
lines,
no,
you know.
into your head. Yeah, but on a man, they're like really attractive. Freddie's got them, and like I said it to him, and he was a bit like, "What?" But yeah, he's got all the laughter lines. But it does look really distinguished on a man. It makes you look, I don't know, just makes you look handsome.
Wise.
On a woman, it's not. Wise, yeah. Some laughter lines and a few greys, and you're like dead sexy. As long as the
The
rest of
one
you's
thing that
attractive.
The one thing that I used to do, or used to want to splurge money on if I had it, which now I don't think I would do, is private jet. I don't think I would get a
Oh,
private jet anymore.
no. I used to travel first class more when I had more money as well on a train. That's just on a train. Just because like once you even go up that one tiny step, it's like, oh, there's so much room up here. There's snacks. There's the Wi-Fi. There's a plug. Like that's not too well. It is an extravagance now because it costs a fucking arm and a leg. But yeah, that's I miss getting first
I've
class
never
all the
been
time.
upgraded on a flight either, and I've always been a bit like, hi, I was just wondering if there's, any possibility. Like, and it's like, no. I mean, I've
Me
never been
neither.
that brazen, but I always try and like flirt or something with the flight attendant.
Yeah, yeah. And like just look good. Dress up. Don't be wearing trackets. I've said this before, I think, on the pod. We got upgraded to
Mm.
the first class lounge, but then there was no room on the flight, so we could only do that, which was annoying.
Oh.
But Ruth, friend of the pod, she's been upgraded twice.
Oh, Ruth, for God's sake,
I know.
how she wangled that?
I think she was flying solo and she got on the plane last. And they were
Right.
like, because when you're alone, you're not really in a rush, are you, whatever. And they got on and they were like, pointed her that way. And she was like, what? And they were like, oh, we've not sold out, business class and you're by yourself. So she like sat there with a fizz.
Oh.
I know, how nice is that?
She gives off good energy though, does Ruth? She gives see,
Yeah.
I don't think I give off that good energy. I give off the energy of, are you gonna upgrade me or what? Do you know what I mean?
Scylla energy. Big Scylla energy.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I've said it
Expecting to
before
get
on the pod.
upgraded.
I've said it before with Danielle, who just gets Pret a Manger free left, right, and centre. And I go in
Yeah.
there and I'm like, hello there, what a lovely day and a lovely blouse you're wearing. How are you? And they're like, it's £3.50 for the coffee, thanks.
It's
And I'm
too
like,
hammer.
damn
Too
it!
hammer.
Yeah, they know
You've got
it's
to
not
be
authentic.
natural. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 you've got
yeah.
to tap into that authentic nicenessly. Yeah, I often
Oh,
get a few free bits.
I'm not a very good actor, clearly. I'm nice.
I'm trying my
Oh, well,
hardest.
I tell you who is nice before we go. I want to give a big shout out to the
Yeah.
lovely Stacey who did a lovely donation to our coffee, our
Thanks,
coffee
Stace.
page the other day. If no one knows what that is, and we hate doing this bit, but we'll say it now and then. We have a little donation page linked on our Instagram or on our YouTube that you can go ahead because we do this podcast all ourselves. We fund it ourselves. We obviously record it ourselves. We edit it ourselves. We produce it ourselves. And as you know, it's such high production value. Um, so
It's really
if you
professional.
fancy, given the odd bit here and there, then why not? Then head on over to coffee,
Treat
or
yourselves.
just be nice. Head on over to our Apple podcast page and leave us a nice review, or you can also do that on Spotify as well. I think that's it for
Thanks,
the
Lee. That
week.
was
We've
very good.
talked extravagance.
Ah, extra. Let us know some like serious ass purchases. If you're rich, then don't because you can buy whatever you want. But something like that you wouldn't normally treat yourself to. Or maybe you regretted it. Slip into the DMs
Well,
on
they
Insta.
They do say as well, a lot of rich people aren't that extravagant, and that's why they're rich. They're good with
And
the
that's
money. I
how
think
I'd be
the minute I
terrible.
have
Yeah.
money, I want to get rid of it. I'm like, spend, spend, spend. Yeah,
Me,
drinks on
we're the
me.
same. Me and you. Yeah, I'm like, what? 20 shots? Yeah, great.
Absolutely, yeah, because often I've done that where like I'll want a shot, but I want to validate it by going round of 10 shots for everyone, and it's like just because you want the shot, I can't have it on my
Yeah.
own.
Heaven forbid. You'd rather
Now
be
I'm just
skin.
mind sweeping the tables. You finished with that shot. Cheers, thanks. The drag glass
Oh no, I work
finished.
here. I'm just cleaning it up, honestly. Yeah, well, thanks for
Uh,
listening. This has been episode, 9? We're almost in double digits of season 2. Can you even believe
okay.
it? And it's still the start of the year, so it's going to get bigger and better. So thanks everyone for listening. This has been episode 9 of Fab Life.
With Lauren and Lee. Marvellous.
Stop.
Okie dokie.
Great, darling. Right. I might have to scooch, as I have the last couple of times. So I've got to finish these boxes and then get to the bloody hairdressers.